Since we were kids, we've been told the same story. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, stay loyal to the company, and one day you'll be rich. But time passed, and reality knocked on the door. You study, work more than 40 hours a week, pay all your bills on time, and at the end of the month, what's left? Anxiety, exhaustion, and that sinking feeling that no matter how hard you try, you're running on a treadmill without moving forward. Robert Kiyosaki calls this the big lie you were told, because the rich, the truly rich, don't trade time for money like most people do. They follow a different path, an invisible, quiet, but incredibly powerful one. They build assets. While you work to earn a paycheck, they create sources of income that pay them even while they sleep. Sounds unfair? It's not. It's strategic. Here's the truth. Those who work only for money become prisoners of it, but those who build assets become free from it. And the most shocking part? No one taught you this in school. No one explained it at your first job. And maybe, until now, no one ever told you about it. But here's the good news. You can switch sides. And it all starts with understanding what assets are and how you can start building your own. Shall we? Imagine this. It's Monday morning, but instead of rushing out to clock in, you check your phone, look over your reports, and realize that while you were asleep, your business kept making sales. Without you being there. That's owning a business. I'm not talking about starting a massive company with hundreds of employees right away. It can be something simple, a service, a product, an online store, a YouTube channel. The important part is you're in control. You create it, you sell it, you scale it. Robert Kiyosaki calls this kind of asset an automatic income machine. Yes, at first it takes effort. You'll have to learn, fail, test, and adjust. But once it starts rolling, it keeps going. Even on weekends, even while you're on vacation, even when you decide to take a day off. Unlike a traditional job, where you only get paid if you show up, a well-built business pays you forever. And here's a secret. You don't need to start big. Start with what you know, what you love, or what solves a real problem. It could be an online course, an e-book, consulting, product resale, digital marketing, delivery, whatever it is, as long as it's yours. Businesses are assets. And a well-built asset is worth more than years of exchanging time for salary. A lot of people think you have to be rich to invest in real estate. But that's a myth. Robert Kiyosaki shows that real estate isn't just for millionaires. It's actually how many of them got there. And here's the trick. You can use other people's money to get started. That's right, it's called leverage. You finance the property with the bank's money, put a tenant in the property who pays rent, and with that rent, you cover the loan payments and still have money left at the end of the month. That leftover is passive income, money coming in every month without you needing to be there, and it gets even better. In many countries, the government offers tax benefits to real estate investors, like exemptions or deductions on certain taxes. Plus, the value of real estate tends to appreciate over time. So you earn in two ways, from today's rent and tomorrow's appreciation. Now imagine you start with one property, then another and another. Suddenly, you have a small portfolio that pays you monthly, even if you stop working. Real estate is a real, tangible and predictable asset. And with the right strategy, you can start even with little. The secret lies in studying the market, making smart purchases, and letting time work in your favor. When it comes to investing in the stock market, many people think of a casino, up and down, win or lose. But that only happens to people who gamble, not to those who invest. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that stocks, ETFs, and funds are not bets. They are ownership in real businesses. When you buy a share of Coca-Cola, Apple, or another big company, you're buying a piece of that company. You become a shareholder, and if the company grows, profits, and pays dividends, you earn too. The big secret here is the power of compound interest. Even if you start small, say $50 or $100 a month, over time, your money grows. And eventually, it starts growing on its own. It's like planting a tree. At first, it's just a seed, but with consistency, it becomes a forest. The difference: a financial forest grows while you sleep. And the best part, today, you can start with simple apps, digital brokers, even automated investing. You set it up, contribute every month, and let time do its magic. These are called paper assets because you can't see or touch them, but they're just as powerful as any building or business. With a well-built portfolio, you can have passive income, long-term growth, and protection against inflation. Instead of letting your money sit idle, make it work for you. Because while most people spend what they earn, the rich multiply what they save. Now imagine this scenario. The stock market crashes. Real estate is in crisis. Everything seems to be falling apart. But right in the middle of that chaos, some assets still stand strong. These are known as eternal value assets, and they're some of the favorites of those who truly understand wealth. Commodities, gold, silver, oil, food, these are real, tangible resources the world will always need. Robert Kiyosaki calls them God's money because they were the original mediums of exchange used by humanity, and they're still a safe haven today. Gold, for example, doesn't lose value over time and is accepted anywhere on the planet. Silver is not just a store of value, it's also used in industries. Oil moves the world, literally, and food, well, without it, nothing works. These assets don't depend on a stable financial system. They survive wars, crises, inflation, and that's exactly why the wealthy keep them in their portfolios. For protection, you don't have to buy bars of gold or bags of rice to invest in them. Today, there are simple and accessible ways, like commodity funds, specific ETFs, or even fractional contracts. While most people scramble to save what they have when a crisis hits, those who hold commodities were already protected. They are assets that work as a shield, and in the money game, a shield is just as important as a sword. If you lose money, you can recover. If you lose a client, you can find another one. But if you lose time, there's no going back. Robert Kiyosaki says that time is the most valuable asset you own, and what separates the rich from the poor isn't just how much they earn, it's how they use the time they have. While many people spend hours on social media, binge-watching endless shows or getting lost in distractions, the rich are using those same hours to learn, build, and plan. They don't see Saturdays and Sundays as days off. They see them as silent opportunities. While most people are resting or complaining about Monday, it's not about living without fun. It's about understanding a simple truth. Every hour you waste is an hour someone else is using to grow. Every weekend spent in total distraction is one less chance to start a project, learn something new, or build a new income stream. And there's more. Time is not just what you spend, it's what you invest. Reading 10 pages of a good book, studying investments for 30 minutes, creating content, opening a spreadsheet, outlining a plan. Small actions done consistently can change your entire life. The rich treat time as currency. Everyone else treats it like they have forever. What's the use of having money in the bank, rental properties, stocks generating dividends, and your own business? If your body is weak, your mind is exhausted, and your energy is gone. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that health is the silent asset that sustains all the others. Without it, you can't work with clarity. You don't have the energy to study. You lack the drive to build something new. And the worst part? Many only realize this when it's too late. They work 10, 12, 14 hours a day, eat poorly, sleep little, live stressed out, and think they're building wealth when they're actually losing the most precious thing they have, vitality. The rich understand that taking care of your health isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. Because a strong body and a sharp mind bring productivity, good decisions, and the stamina to face challenges. They train, even if just for 30 minutes a day. They sleep well, because they know mental clarity comes from rest. They eat with intention, not by impulse. And above all, they protect their energy like a treasure. There's no point in accumulating wealth if you're going to spend it all on medications, hospitals, or avoiding the mirror. Health is the fuel for your freedom. And like any good asset, it must be cared for daily before it turns into a liability. The internet is the new land of opportunity. And those who understand this early are building fortunes without even leaving home. Robert Kiyosaki highlights that digital assets are like fertile land in the modern world. But instead of soil, you plant ideas. And instead of harvesting with a tractor, you harvest clicks, views, and automatic sales. Think about it. You record a video today, and it keeps generating income for months. You create an online course, and people across the globe can buy it while you sleep. You build an email list and turn that into sales with just one click. All of these are digital assets. And the best part, they don't require big upfront investments. They only require creativity, consistency, and vision. You might be thinking, but I don't know anything about that. But no one did in the beginning. Every big YouTube channel started with 0 subscribers. Every blog began with a single post. And the difference between those who get rich and those who only consume content is simple. Some create assets, others just scroll. Today, more than ever, it's possible to build wealth with a laptop, an internet connection, and a little discipline. And the best part, these assets have no borders, don't close at 6 p.m., and don't ask for vacations. They work for you 24 hours a day. If everything was taken from you today, your money, your belongings, your followers, even your job, what would you have left? Your name, your reputation, your personal brand. Robert Kiyosaki says that your brand is an invisible asset, but one that's worth more than luxury cars in a garage. Because in the end, people don't just buy products. They buy from people they trust. Think about the biggest names in the market. Elon Musk, Oprah, Warren Buffett. What do they have in common? Trust. When they speak, the world listens. When they launch something, people buy. That's the power of personal branding. And it's not about being famous. Personal branding is about authority, positioning, clarity of values. It's what people think and feel when they hear your name. You can be a consultant, a teacher, a barber, a stay-at-home entrepreneur. It doesn't matter. If you consistently deliver value with integrity and excellence, doors will open. And here's the secret. The stronger your brand, the less you need to chase opportunities. They start chasing you. You don't have to ask for referrals. People refer you. You don't need to explain yourself. Your reputation speaks for you. Build your brand on social media, behind the scenes, in everyday conversations. Show that you know your craft, that you deliver what you promise, that you're always learning, growing, evolving. And remember, a brand is built with actions, not words. It might take time, but once it matures, your personal brand becomes one of the most valuable assets of your life. And the best part, it goes with you wherever you go. The system's greatest illusion is making you believe that if you work hard for 40 years, you'll earn freedom in the end. But what many discover, too late, is that the system was designed to keep you busy, in debt and dependent. Robert Kiyosaki tells a truth few dare to say. Freedom doesn't come with age. It comes with assets. When you own assets, businesses, real estate, investments, well-used time, health, digital presence, reputation, you start living at a different pace. You choose who you want to work with. You decide where you want to be. You have time for your family, your purpose, your peace. You stop chasing a paycheck and start chasing meaning. Assets free you from obligation, from the fear of losing. Your job from the anxiety over bills, from a life lived on autopilot hoping things will change one day. And you know what's beautiful about all this? You can start now, even with little, even in silence. You don't need to announce it to the world. Just take the first step, and then the next. Because financial freedom doesn't come from luck. It comes from small, conscious choices. Repeated every day. Every asset you build is one more brick in your fortress of independence. Start small, but start. Because freedom isn't something you buy at the end of your life. It's something you build, asset by asset, before you earn. Real money, you have to relearn everything you were taught about it. That's called financial re-education. It's like you've spent your whole life playing a game with the wrong rules. And now, you're finally learning the real playbook. Most people were taught to spend before investing, to live on the edge, to buy things to impress, to confuse status with success. But those who build true wealth do the opposite. They learn to control, multiply, and protect. Robert Kiyosaki insists, it's not about how much you earn, it's about what you do with what you earn. Earn 1,000, invest 50. Earn 5,000, invest 500. The important thing is not the amount, it's the habit, the discipline, the mindset. To re-educate yourself financially means learning to say no to the present so you can say yes to the future. Stopping the chase for appearances so you can start living for real. Knowing how to distinguish good debt from bad debt. Investing in knowledge before investing in any other asset. There is no freedom without awareness. And there is no wealth without financial intelligence. Look around you. Who do you spend time with, talk to, learn from? Because, as the old saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Robert Kiyosaki highlights a point many ignore. Your circle of influence is either a powerful asset or a silent liability. If you're surrounded by people who only complain, overspend, and have no plans, it's only a matter of time before you start behaving the same way. But if you start surrounding yourself with people who invest, build businesses, read, grow, something changes. Your mind expands, your habits evolve, your vision of the future transforms. We're not talking about cutting ties. We're talking about wisely choosing who feeds your mindset. Look for groups, events, channels, books, mentorships, any environment where the conversations revolve around growth, freedom, and purpose. Because when you're in the right environment, wealth stops being the exception and starts becoming the result. And the best part? This asset is free. It only requires attention and intention. You've just discovered the map. Now only one thing remains, taking the first step. It doesn't matter if you have little money, little time, little knowledge. What matters is your decision. Because assets don't fall from the sky. They're built one by one. Your own business, investments, well-used time, health, personal brand, digital assets, knowledge, the right people. It's all within your reach, but only if you stop waiting for a miracle and start acting with strategy. You can start small, quietly, in silence. But if you start now, with focus, intention, and consistency, your future will make noise. Now tell me, which of these assets do you already have? And which one will you start building today? If this video inspired you, share it with someone who also deserves this mindset shift. And of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Here, we talk about money with purpose, about freedom, with truth. See you in the next video, where those who think like the rich learn to live like the rich. Until then.